as a result of your hard work. Finally, we are committed to providing you with the tools you need to run your business and a back office infrastructure that supports all that you do. Thank you for your passion and your commitment to improving lives. Together, we are 40 years strong, and we're just getting started.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our 2,500 Royalty Club training. I've been waiting for this training for a while, but before I mention and introduce our special guest, so I'm going to be the host for the call tonight, guys. My name is Tony Pinheiro with my beautiful wife, Issa. So we've been with Herbalife for the past 15 years. Initially, when we got started, I wasn't interested. My wife was the clever one. She got registered. She got amazing results. And she finally got me to go to a meeting to see the big picture. And I got to see the possibilities. And if you look at it now, 15 years later, we're living our dream of getting to travel the world, working from home, taking our kids on this amazing journey with us and empowering other people to get to the level best. And last year we reached the top 1% level in the company, and this year it's been insane what's actually happened. We've moved up again. But guys, today is not about me. Today is about a very, very special friend of ours, where we've just really connected with her and her husband at the press team lounges, and we've just got this amazing connection with her. She's unbelievable, guys. I've got my notebook. I'm ready to take notes. She's created an amazing business in the last 6 years. Can you imagine? Only 6 years in Herbalife. So, guys, I want you to get out of your seats, because I'm going to do that, and I want you to welcome up our very special guest, which we are so thankful to have her on the call tonight to train us. Senior Executive, President's Team, 20K, Mwabise Issa Boko!
Wow, thank you so much, Tony, for such a beautiful and a warm welcome. And first of all, I just want to express my deepest gratitude for this opportunity. When Jean contacted me, when there was that pre-meeting with your leadership, I was just blown away. And one of my dear friends would say to me, when you are given an opportunity, especially in Herbalife, when you are given an opportunity to share your story, never say no, always say no problem. So one of the reasons I'm always grateful and I'm looking forward, especially to tonight, is the fact that if, especially your leaders, if they had said no to any opportunity that they had before, they have directly and indirectly molded me in my journey. So with that, I'm deeply grateful. So thank you so much, everyone. So tonight, I just want to take you through my journey first, and then I will share in summary what has led to this point. So Nwabisa Issa Bongolo, all the way from a small village in the Eastern Cape. And then I grew up from a family where my mother was a single parent, and I was raised by my grandmother, by my aunt. I grew up with cousins, and all that was taught was that we need to go to school, get a better education so that you can be able to design the life you want to live. I did exactly that, and I was actually just a bookworm. And one of the things that pushed me to make sure that I just focus on my books, I just focus on studies, was the situation back at home. I mean, where they were doing everything they could to make ends meet. By the way, my mother is a teacher by profession, but she had me when she was still very young. And my grandmother said, stop. She was actually doing her first year university, doing a different course, but because she was pregnant with me, she had to put that dream on hold. Actually, she had to stop it and find some piece job first, and then later on did teaching just to be able to take care of me. So I studied civil engineering. I went to Cape Town. I didn't want to move actually from Cape Town, but now I'm grateful that I'm in PE. So I started civil engineering for two reasons. where I was growing up, there were gravel roads, so that would inspire me. And I was like, okay, this looks cool. And also it was promised to be, sorry, I just need to put my timer on. It was promised to be a better paying job. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. I went to Cape Town, did my diploma. And after that, I was placed in Port Elizabeth. I didn't want to come to PE. Actually, I didn't want to leave Cape Town because I wanted to further my studies there. You know, when you are in the school system, you know that the more studies you do, you're gonna be more marketable to get a better paying job. So when I got to PE, I just as furthered my studies. I did a BTech. I was excited. I went up to my boss. I'm like, now I have BTech. So what's gonna happen to my salary? He looked at me and said, nothing. Nothing is gonna happen to your salary. You need to be first registered as a professional engineer and all of that. I updated my CV from then on. And I started to apply for a job. I got a different job from a small firm. I was happy with the salary, but you know, especially when you come from the rural areas, from the villages, you know, there's lots of responsibilities. So sometimes our parents would look at us and think that we are well off. We don't have kids that we take care of, but we financially, we should be okay. That was not the case for me. To cut the long story short, I furthered my studies again, did BSc honors in civil engineering. I was doing them in Pretoria. I would travel there, come back. But I remember when I was filling in that application form, I had to put my mother down as assurance that in case I failed to pay for my fees, she would be the one to take on. She looked at me and said, it looks like the civil engineering of yours is not working for you. Why don't you like opt for teaching? That's the comment that she passed. But she was not happy that I've studied this much, but still I'm struggling financially. So I got to PE in 2007. In 2014, that's when my Herbalife journey began. On the picture that you saw on the slide, it was my graduation in Pretoria. When I got to PE, that was not my weight, but that particular year, I was going through a lot of stress. There was a lot happening in my life personally, and I lost people who were very dear to my heart. And only to find out that my mother was also going through a divorce. I'm the firstborn of three. I've got two siblings, my sister and my younger brother. So I took all of that stress. I took all of that strain. I ended up, they call it a seafood diet where you eat whatever is in front of you. I picked up weight. So I was overweight, depressed. There was no confidence, less energy. Then on the next slide, I posted something on Facebook. They say we shouldn't complain, but I'm grateful I complained on Facebook. So I posted this picture on Facebook saying, I wish I can get back to this weight. That's when my amazing sponsors found me. Zolani sent me an inbox. I knew him through a mutual friend from the civil engineering field. He sent me an inbox saying, okay, please give me your number. Let's talk. I avoided him for, I think, over 4 months. I already had excuses. I wouldn't go to get to attend what he was inviting me to. And I was just on the dark zone. So there was this particular day in August 2014 where I didn't even remember making up an appointment with him. He gave me a call. He said, Issa, we're meeting in 30 minutes. That particular time, I was on my lowest low. At work, I would take off because how do I put it? I can say I was depressed. I would hide behind sleeping pills. I would drink myself to sleep. I was at the verge of giving up. But that particular day that Zolani called me to say, let's meet up, I was having suicidal thoughts. I don't remember anything that he said, but I remember how I felt when he painted the Herbalife picture. I was like, I just want to be part of that family. I was that person who, from work, I just want to be distracted. I don't want to go home alone because in PE, I was just staying alone. Then I said yes, because I needed to lose weight. I was not interested in the business part of it because I was carrying my civil engineering cap, thinking that, no, I've got this, while deep down, I knew I needed some financial, breakthrough. So I attended my very first meeting, guys, the love, the excitement. I was like, are these people first of all, I thought they were fake because they love the excitement that you get on a Herbalife meeting. We're like, what's happening here? I loved the environment. To me, it was like going to church. I was like, I want to be surrounded by that all the time. Zolani took me to Gwen, introduced me to the products. Gwen told me a very important thing, that if you want the results, use the products. And then they invited me to meetings. I remembered how I felt. I was like, I want to come to more meetings. So on my very first meeting, I was alone. On my second meeting, I took more people with me. And I just felt the energy. I was, you know, sometimes when you, on payday, I would be those people who would be buying muffin and coffee because I think that I have money now, is payday, but that changed, my lifestyle entirely changed. So this was the transformation. I lost over 26 kgs. I felt amazing. And I never participated in any sports before. On this other picture, that's when I managed to run my very first half marathon, and I was just blown away. And just to cut the long story short, my perception of thinking that this Herbalife thing is only for people who didn't go to school changed just from the meetings. I remember on that very first meeting, they talked about extravaganza. I was like, extrava what? I thought to myself, maybe it's for supervisors. By the way, congratulations to everyone who is qualified to be part of this call. It's one thing to qualify, but it's another thing to attend what you've qualified for. So congratulations to each and every one of you. So this was my first extravaganza. So I ran up to Gwen at the meeting, and then she got excited that congratulations, you've qualified for the extravaganza. I was like, okay, I'm still new. She's saying I've qualified. I bought my ticket immediately. That was in 2014. That's one of the first biggest events that changed my, you know, open game. It was a game changer for me. I went with one member to that event. I came back home. I worked on more, kept on attending all the meetings, because Zolani said, if you want to make it in business, and now that I had seen the picture, never miss a meeting. I did exactly that. I was so teachable. I said, tell me what to do, I will do it. Then when they told me that I've qualified for an international event, I was like, okay, this is it. Before, I used to be reading the newspapers, seeing on Sunday Times that, okay, travel to Mauritius and all of that. I never thought that at that age I would be able to, you know, be traveling internationally. So my very first trip was in Barcelona. It was filled with 18,000 crazy Herbalife people. Out of that event, I learned that Herbalife is bigger than us. And I took a decision that I will do this for life. To summarize the trips, I've been to 10 international trips in total. I remember my first Future Press Team retreat, I was 7 months pregnant. I think Tony was there. Then on the next slide, that's one of the highlights from the travels where I took my mom. She is the woman who sacrificed everything. She put her life on hold. I remember when I was studying in Cape Town, she was staying in a shack. Actually, she still has that shack at the back of her yard. She had to, I don't know how she survived. There were times where she would be left with 200 rands, but still she was providing for us. And that made me commit to school that I don't want to be coming to Cape Town to play and not do what she sent me here to do. And I just wanted to give her that relief as soon as possible. So I took her to this vacation in Turkey last year. She was blown away. I was 5 months pregnant with my second baby. And I remember back then having a dream of this particular car. And then when I tried to contact to shop around, the person said, no, you can't afford this car. And at the same time, if you did, you wouldn't afford fuel. You needed a second car. So guys, the world that we live in, the world out of Herbalife, it brings so many limitations to our minds. But what's nice about this opportunity is that once you've seen the vision, you know that nothing can limit you, but only yourself. You are the one who can stop on your way. I managed to buy the very first house, and I'm forever grateful. First of all, I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to my family for all the support, for everything she did, my mother, to support me. And now I've been doing the Herbalife for 6 years, 5 years part-time. And it's such an amazing feeling to be doing it around my two little girls. One is 3 years, the other one is turning 1 year next week. And my supportive and amazing partner, he's actually also doing Herbalife. He's a lawyer by profession and is doing Herbalife part-time. So I just want to share with you the tips on how, I will try to summarize the 6-year journey of what is it that happened for me to be where I am today. By the way, I didn't plan it. I just applied all the basics, all the things that we taught from the meetings, and I hope you can actually grab one or two things. So first of all, when I attended my first extravaganza, I think I was a qualified producer. I came out of that event super amped up. And I remember one of the things they always share, even in our local meetings, that always talk to your circle of influence. Then I went up to East London because there were leads of people that actually, I had a friend of mine who, you know, most, you know, that you target such a certain person because you know what they love, what they're into, their circle of influence. So I kept on trying to get him into Herbalife. I was a neg actually. And then he kept on saying no. And then this particular time, so he saw my results and then he said, what I can do to support your business, I can share your results on Facebook. So from that, I got about 26 leads from East London. And then I was amped up from this extravaganza in Joburg. I called him, I'm like, okay, I'll be coming to East London. I organized, I think it was a library to meet. It's like I was doing some mini shake party, expecting 26 people. I went with my friend who we went to the extravaganza with. So we were expecting 26 people, only 6 or 8 came up. And this person was the last one to come to the shake party. And he's the only one who signed. Now he's one of my diamonds. So the power of meetings, sometimes it's not about, actually, it's not about recording the entire meeting at all. It's about getting that line, getting that one thing that's going to resonate with you. So I'm not sure. I just want to go through the slide which shows my journey. And guys, from a member to where I am today, there's been some challenges. There's been challenges from member to supervisor. Thank you so much. That's the one. So after 3 months, I became a supervisor. I remember one of the first people, especially in PE, that I looked up to, Anthony Latta. I was attending a BBS, and then there was a non-supervisor and a supervisor training. I was writing lots of notes, so excited about the nuggets that were shared there. And then they said, time out, all the non-supervisors, they need to leave the meeting. I took a decision that that particular December of 2014, I don't want to miss a supervisor school. Anton is one of the people who gave love and warm welcome. I remember he, on that particular BBS, he took out his pin to pin me as supervisor. So now I'm in Port Elizabeth. There's East London, which is about 600 kilometers to and from. There's Amtata. And then since I was exposed to people traveling, it was a sacrifice that I had to make to travel between PE and Amtata. Guys, it was not easy. Remember, I'm a graduate, I was working, but there were times I didn't have fuel. I remember one of the meetings, that's one powerful thing as well. It's important how we promote a meeting. There's one thing to announce it, but how we promote it, how we get excited about the speaker, because this particular meeting, Gwen called me to say, there's a meeting in Issa. I had all the excuses, I don't have fuel, I can't do it. The way she promoted the speaker, and the speaker was Virginia Chipeta. That was the first time I met her in 2015. I came back a changed person. Then I reached the global expansion team level. That's when I got the, how do I put it? I learned it was the hardest phase in my career. I was a global expansion team for 2 years. Global expansion team, get trained up for 2 years, guys. In that 2 years, that's when I had my first baby. And I remember when I was pinned get team, that amazing speaker said, make sure that you don't drop your bonus. Make sure that you don't drop 2.5 so that you can collect your bonus. So for those of you who've done 2.5 for the very first time, that's a great, amazing first step. There's more to that. For 2 years, I didn't receive my bonus because I wasn't doing the 5,000 volume points. And I had two options. And Marcus would say as well that in Herbalife, you need to always build it right. Because if you build it wrong, somewhere it's going to catch up with you. And that when that happens, the marketing plan is so clever that it can kick you out of the door. So I was like, I know I once did 5K and I know what I did back then to achieve that. So I had to go back to me. I had someone asked, what is it that you do? Guys, the pain of being a graduate and broke, the pain of seeing my mother lose weight, go through mental stress because she's got loans to pay, the pain of me not getting to where the pain drove me to do more. So I just kept on attending more meetings. But what's nice about meetings is that who are you taking with you? Then 2018, the beginning of 2018, that's when I started to collect my bonus. Yes, I was mad that I couldn't connect the bonus, but I was happy that now I'm collecting it the right way. What we're building here is a massive mansion. It's like we're building a mansion. But there's two options. If you want your foundation to be on sand, you know that building is going to collapse, but you rather take more time building it right, building it on a solid foundation. So I remember we were in the meal team experience. I didn't plan to be press team. Actually, with our organization as well, we were just on a momentum. But one thing that was taught in London is that we were excited with a pen and paper, taking notes of how do we get to press team. One of the amazing speakers there said, Martin, said, the same thing you did to get to where you are is the same thing that you need to do to get to the next level, but you need to do it with more people, with new people, with more people. So the same applies to the guys who just did their 2.5 for the very first time. You will know, you're gonna see on the next slides, that's the same thing, that's the same basics that's gonna take you to 5K, to 10K. Their region is even doing 30K. So doing it part-time up until I did the 15K, it wasn't easy, guys, especially towards the end, because now I was a mother. I had to be committed at work. I had to be committed to the local meetings. It was taking too much strain. And also, you don't want to cheat the process. You don't want to be known that you are doing well in Herbalife, but you are cheating at your job. There were times where I would take unpaid leave. My boss would be deducting over 10K from my salary. But you know what I did? I was like, okay, if that money goes out of my salary, I need to work hard, talk to more people, bring more people, because eventually I knew I was gonna, resign. But I listened a lot to Jim Rohn when he talks about the power of part-time, when he talks about not wanting to give up on the electrifying story. And I'm gonna be honest, I was scared. I was scared that when I decide to go full-time, I'll be lazy. And I wanted to use each and every lunch hour. We have lunch hour, we've got tea time. Some people, they spend that time micromanaging other people's business, talking about. So I would tell myself that if it doesn't add on my salary, if it doesn't add on my joy, if it doesn't add on anything that I need positive of my life, then it's not worth my attention. Not that I was antisocial at work. 80% of the guys I signed up, actually my boss is on haircuts of global expansion team, because I was using that time to plant the seed around that. So, sorry, just missed the slides now. And guys, especially for the new guys, I've got about 534 supervisors, but 300 on 3 levels. It's not about the number of people you have in your team. There may be a supervisor here with only 100 supervisors, but it's about, are those people active or not? I've got 5 press team members, 140K, 220K. This, without my amazing team, I wouldn't be here, because that pin represents the number of lives we've changed as a unit, as a community. So now I want to talk about 5 key things that I've learned throughout the journey. The first one is know what your members want. Okay, I'm still okay with time. And know the marketing plan, what if plan, recognition. So what do I mean by know what your members want? When you sign Nonjabulo into the business, it's not about what I want. Let's say you are supervisor now, you want to go to global expansion team. So if you can check on the next slide, there's some categories that we do as a team, whereby we say, there's 2 things. You can send a message when you're still signing up a new member. Be excited. Like, for instance, this typical message, I'm congratulating the person, I'm introducing myself as they are applying, and I just want to help them through their journey. But for me to help them through their journey, they need to indicate what they want to achieve. So there's 3 categories. A, just being a discount customer, enjoying your products. And then B, if you want to make some little bit of income as well, or if you want to introduce your family to buy the products at 35% discount, and ultimately if you want to do the business. And guys, now I'm talking to someone who has been, because I've been on that journey. If you feel like you've got a lot of inactive members, remember, especially the people you personally signed up, there was something that you did for those people to say yes. You didn't force them, you didn't put a gun on them to say yes. So be willing to go back and reintroduce yourself and just take them to the journey. So normally how we do this is through a broadcast where each and every person get their special message, because groups, they don't always work. People don't feel free to participate. Then after they respond, let's say someone says they are an A or a B, you ask them, are they part of the groups? Do they know how to place their order? Do they attend meetings? Because you don't want to force someone who's an A to be attending an extravaganza, an LTW, or because you don't want something that's going to be a turn off. So this is the first thing where you know what your members want, and then you will know which structures you use. We have Telegram, we've got a huge Facebook group, and then we've got the WhatsApp groups as well. So now, after that, understand the marketing plan. Understanding the marketing plan, guys, it's like when your boss tells you that if you work Monday to Friday, when you work extra hours on Saturday and Sunday, this is what's going to happen. And also understanding the marketing plan helps you as a supervisor to know where you can go, and what's more important is to be able to guide your members. And we've got a very simple marketing plan, simple in terms of how it's explained. We shouldn't take for granted the fact that someone is a supervisor. Someone can be a supervisor and they don't understand what is that thing? Unencumbered, I call it cucumbered volume. So those basic things, group volume, personal volume, PPV, because if, let's say someone misinterprets what the group volume is, and they end up thinking that someone has done their first cut off, get or whatever the case. So it's important that we understand the marketing plan. And the best thing to understand the marketing plan is to explain it to each and every person who says, okay, I'm in. If someone is a member and they want to go to senior consultant, I show them a roadmap to a supervisor. By the way, when I sat down with my sponsor after I became a supervisor, I was like, okay, what's next? So Gwen sat down with me and said, okay, this is a roadmap to Active World Team. I thought that she made a mistake. I still have the books. I was like, okay, I've been doing minimum of 500 PPV, and I've worked with people. Now I'm a supervisor. I had the corporate mentality. On the notes where she said, you need to do minimum of 2,500 volume points, I wrote 250 volume points, because I was like, you know, when you're a supervisor at work, you do less and then the rest do more. But I understood the marketing plan. And another thing, guys, that's very important in the marketing plan is that print out anything. That's what I did. Print out anything that, like, there's a promotion, there's all of that, plug it all over. Because when you rather go, by the way, when you are a supervisor, the next goal is not even Active World Team, it's a global expansion team. Like in school, if you want to get 80%, if you want to get 60% or 50%, you don't target for 50, you target for more. So the goal should be the global expansion team. And what's nice is that, where am I now? I'm still on the marketing plan. So when you understand that, you'll be able to explain it to your guys. And the other thing is know how you get paid. Like this particular example, I'm sorry if it doesn't look very cool. First of all, this, I treat this as a pizza, but it doesn't have 8 slices, it's got 7 slices. So we as supervisors, it's our responsibility to understand how does one get paid. By the way, I just want to share a personal story on royalty overrides, because if you're a brand new supervisor, you still have more supervisors to come. Understanding that when you do your 2,500 volume points, you are eligible to earn the full 5%. I remember I did 2,300 volume points in that particular month. And I called my sponsor saying that, okay, my friend, I'm at 2.3. What's going to happen if I don't do 2.5? She laughed and said, the company is going to pay you 4% of the royalties, and the 1% is going to roll up to me, and I'm going to take my husband out for coffee. And I was like, it's just 1%. I lost 10 grand from that particular month. So you know you are eligible to earn that. Why not go an extra mile, help more people to earn fully? Because Herbalife has to spend that, they have to deposit that money into someone else's account. So you don't want to miss that. So I talked about the production bonus that for 2 years I missed it. I don't want to know how much money that was. So this is just a typical example. And by the way, when I was going through a phase after I became a global expansion team, I remember after maternity leave, because I was just earning the royalties. I was laughing now because I checked how many personal volume I did there. It was 19.95. So that month I only bought a tea. My check dropped from 32 grand to 5.6. It was one of the most embarrassing moments because I had to go for a cash loan. And guess what? The cash loan was actually opposite the pickup point in Port Elizabeth. Guys, I'm sharing these moments so that you can know that you don't have to miss what you qualify for. I love to share those downfalls so that you can see that it was not just a smooth journey. And someone who knows me, that person is actually now my senior consultant, because it was very tricky for me to introduce them, because where there's a human being, I learned that from Mama Emily, that where there's a human being, there's an opportunity for Herbalife. So I introduced them into the business. But imagine, they see my salary, they see that this is how much I'm earning, and I need to convince them and try to invite them to Herbalife. They were like, no, I'm the one helping you with a cash loan here. So this is a typical example of someone's check. What's nice, we've got a powerful tool, which is BizWorks, where you can see that this month I've earned 1,000 rands. Don't just be excited and cross fingers that I hope it's going to go to 2,000. It's not going to go to 2,000 the next month if you don't know how that 1,000 came about. This particular lady, this was actually from 2018. In January, she did 506 ppv. The downline volume was 8.9. Her check was 38 rands. So it's good to sit down with your new member, with your supervisor, to say, this is how you did the money, because follow that money, follow those volume points, follow that 2,500. You're going to see on the next slide when I'm talking about the what if plan. In February, her check went to 197. In March, it was 1.8. In April, she had 5 people activated under her. So in a space of January, February, March, April, in a space of 4 months, the check went from 38 rands to 3,600. So we as supervisors, as leaders, we need to know what Jim Rohn says, look over your organization, because when we help people, especially when they reach the supervisor level, they want to make money, we need to guide them. It shouldn't come as a surprise when the check drops. They need to understand why it dropped. So moving on to the next slide, I think that's where we talk about the what if plan. This is one of the things I connected to. I love simplicity. I think maybe it's because I'm coming from an engineering background where you plug in the formula and then you want the answers. I love simplicity. This I'm still using today. It's called the what if plan. What is a what if plan? That's where you cast a vision for what your supervisors, for yourself as well, to see what is possible. So this is a typical example. By the way, I extracted this from the actual organization, but the names are not the same. So Zola, in the month of May, did 1,600 volume points. Now, she wants to know, how do I do minimum 2.5? You sit down with her, you say, there's a 3-view report from BizWorks that states that 1,600 didn't just come about. There's something that's happened. There's people who were activated. So from her organization, these are the guys who place an order. So what's highlighted in green, it's what actually happened in May. Now you are checking, what if some activities can happen? What is possible? So if, like, for instance, you look at Ati, the first guy, Ati did 2,264 volume points. It shows that Ati is using the products and she's possibly introduced a few people around her. But what if she can follow up? I'm going to talk about follow up. What if she can follow up on those people? It's possible that Ati can do 500 volume points. But look at Soso. Soso did 70 ppv. That's Sheikh Aluti, probably. And following up, that's when you get an opportunity to hear from Soso. How are they doing? Maybe Soso is going to say, no, I'm no longer using the products. I'm constipated. You find out that she's not using a multifiber. You introduce that extra product that she needs, because it's all about helping people reach their results. And the first thing is the results, which is using the product. So they need to be understanding what the products do. But in summary, if Zola can only talk to those people, which is the people who are only activated, what's possible is that she can do 3,200 volume points. By the way, she did over 2.5 that particular month. So also a what if plan, you don't do it to perfect the 2.5. Even if it takes you to 1,200, you want to see the gaps for your supervisors to say, invite more people to the meetings. You don't have recruit more people and all of that. And the next slide is pretty much the same thing, but it's for someone who wanted to do 5,000 volume points. I remember when I did this to one of my amazing members, the legends in my organization, who's now 40K senior executive president team. That particular month, it was possible for her to do 9,000 volume points. And guess what she did? Because you just write this on, because we don't need to be fancy, you just write it on a piece of paper, you write a message, this is possible, I believe in you, you can do this. And she got so excited. What was possible, according to what I saw, was 9,000 volume points. She did 10,000 volume points and she became a world team. So you are casting that vision for them and you let them duplicate the same thing for their members, because we need to do what's easy enough. If it's not duplicatable, then it's a problem. And then now, the next and my favorite part is recognition. Guys, this company is about recognition. Over 400 people are in this call because you worked hard, you are being recognized for your hard work. You look at the company, you imagine how much money they spend in recognizing us. So we need to go all out as leaders. The same way we felt when we were brought in, that's how our members should feel, because it's all about the teamwork, it's all about what they do. And one of the things I love about recognition as well is the education, the training behind the recognition, because when you recognize someone in your group, yes, it's more to do with them, it's got something to do with them, but it's more to do with the other ones who feel uninspired. When they see that this person is attending meetings, is doing all of this, then you are training those people as well. So as you can see, my recognition has kind of improved. This is Inga. I'm sure many of you know her. Just a brief story. She was my very first member that I signed up on Herbalife. After my very first meeting in August 2014, one of the top 10 pointers was to talk to a circle of influence. I visited a friend of mine who was also in an engineering firm. It was a Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And then I did a wellness evaluation. So he was excited. He ended up calling the students who were in the office. And Inga was not invited. Inga heard from the passage that there's people in the boardroom. She invited herself over. I'm like, this lady doesn't have any way to lose. What am I going to say to him? I put her on the Tanita scan. I gave her the results. She was happy and excited, but I was like, okay, I can't end it there. The following day, there was going to be a BBS. That was in September 2014. Inga was one of the 8 people who attended that BBS. From the 8 people, 6 people signed up. She's my second diamond. She was the very first person I signed up because she was curious enough. And it's all about what I said before, that attend meetings, invite people to meetings. Don't discredit people because you're saying, like, don't prejudge a person. Actually, when you look at them, you see a Pres team member, because you will never know. You will never. She's got her ups and downs, but now she's doing an amazing business with her amazing partner. I've shared a brief story about Mpumzi and Zimkita. Mpumzi was very skeptical. He was like, no, I don't want to do this. But it was after I attended that extravaganza that I applied that line. The guest speaker there was Leon Weinsberg. He said, if you have to travel, if you have to put that, take that bus to go meet a prospect, do that, even if you come back and you get nothing out of that. So that's exactly what I did. So these are the 2 diamonds that are on my pin. And guys, another thing about recognition is that make an effort. There's amazing apps, guys. There's even this other app where there's, by the way, you guys have the most amazing recognition because that makes someone feel good. And another thing, on social media, when you recognize someone, you are creating leads for them. I may be looking down on Inga as Inga's friends on Facebook, like, Inga is on this Facebook. But when I see Mpumzi recognizing Inga, putting her on a pedestal that you've qualified for this, all of a sudden I'll be interested. So when you are doing that, you are helping those people, you are helping to expand their business, and be sincere in your recognition. Don't do a generic thing, zoom into them, follow their journey. And the next one is these amazing reports. By the way, we've got this nice new addition to our BizWorks Plus, where it runs the reports, because it's good and fine when you have 5 people. When I opened my first WhatsApp group, there were only 6 members. But when you've got 600 members, when you've got 6,000 members, when you've got 16,000 members, you won't be able to keep track. So these reports, they are for recognition. I believe in one thing, always find a reason to recognize. Here, I even put a teaser because BizWorks does that. They know that this is Avuile, that is the sponsor. So these are the top 20 non-supervisor. This is senior consultant tracking. So when I know that there are members that are that are inactive, I would put their name as sponsors. When they see their name, they don't even if like I'm gonna be honest, whenever you see your name, something happens. So I would put the sponsor's name just to rejuvenate them as well. So make sure you capitalize on recognition. And another thing is, I think the next one is the promotions, guys. the company is about promotions. You have amazing promotions in your organization, but I'm just want to share what we do. One of the important things, if you can remember, one of the key pillars in the 2020 strategy is continued customer loyalty and consumption. What do people consume? Stamp. We know that our core product is the stamp. So we run these weekly promotions where we are actually driving the consumption. That actually promotion is geared around the stamp products, because it doesn't matter what one wants to achieve, they need to be starting on the basic product, which is the stamp. And we give away these amazing gifts, guys. My first check in Herbalife was December 2018. It was 1,800 rands. I was so excited. I bought 8 journals for my members, branded them, because I was like, I believe in them. And some of them are still around. So when you take something from your check and give back, even if it's just a pen, if it's branded Herbalife, it's something big. We would make like fun when we go to these events. You go to London, there's a serviette that's branded Herbalife. You're like, you want to take this home, you want to run a promotion, because people get excited. You as a supervisor, take yourself out of the picture, because you've seen a lot of promotions, but that brand new member, they want to, some people have never won anything in their lives. And then we've got this, so we focus more on non-supervisor promotions. Why? We know that's what's going to help our supervisors. So as a supervisor, their job is to promote the promotion. If you are not excited, then you're not gonna do 2.5, you're not gonna do 5,000 volume points, you're not gonna grow your royalties, because you are not promoting the promotion. And that's what the company is all about. They do the promotions, they don't have to do it, but they do it for us to be excited and to help our members to gun for something. And then we also have supervisor promotions, which are aligned to the company promotions. And the next thing is so from 2,500 volume points, the next big pin is the global expansion team. And remember, guys, as the leaders always say from the meetings, that when you do 2.5, you are on a survival mode, like I was for 2 years as a GET team member. If you want to smash the big, by the way, if you think about it, moving from 2.5 to doing 5K, you get to qualify to be on stage, because the company works on metrics. You get to qualify for vacation, you get to qualify for gala dinners. And what's nice on gala dinners, you don't have to rush yourself, to force yourself to take a picture with that legend. It's like you are treated specially, and you don't want to miss collecting your check when you do at the global expansion level. And I remember for the new guys who think, I don't have to spend a lot of money. I took one person to my first extravaganza. On my second extravaganza, I was active world team. I took 36 members. And the promotion that I ran was that you buy your extravaganza ticket, help 2 people from your team buy the extravaganza ticket, take the craziest pose, and whoever has the most exciting pose is gonna get a reward. Guess what the reward was? It was a box of protein bars. So it was not about the reward, it was the fact that someone they are gunning for something. And now I just want to quickly take you through the weekly plan, because remember, I'm a mom, I'm at home. Actually, we haven't been having a nanny since March. So this is the weekly promotion. Of course, I mean, there's an organization with over 18,000 people. People are doing their own things. You can imagine there's 5 press team members. So people are doing their own different things. And what's nice about that is the fact that Mark Hughes says, Herbalife is like a menu. You go to a restaurant, there's fish, there's chicken, there's steak. So each and everything works, but it only works when you work. So there's support. I'm sure there's support in your amazing leaders as to, if you want to run a 21-day challenge, this is what you do. But this is what I do weekly. On Mondays, we've got product trainings. I want to show my gratitude to Bridget Tikobe, my amazing friend. When I was down and low, she taught me how to do product trainings on WhatsApp. I'm still implementing that today. So on Mondays, but since now we are doing Zoom as well, I like the fact that we do it on Zoom, because it gives an opportunity for the supervisors to take that lead and train people on those, because guys, it's about empowering others. So that's why we do the product training, talk about all the products, and then we do the getting started. People need to know how to place their order. We don't have to do what they can do. We don't have to do it for them. And that's where we run the weekly promotion. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we've got Facebook Live, because remember, guys, it's about following the pipeline, that you do the invitation, you invite them to a presentation. After the presentation, you do the follow-up. After the follow-up, you plug, they decide if they want to be a member or a a customer, then after that you plug them to structures, then that duplicates. We have a Facebook a group that has over 50,000 people now. There's mostly leads there. So when I meet someone, I invite, if they are on Facebook, even if they just, because they get to see, know about the products as well, I tag them there, then I talk to them after that. Marcus says, you'd rather spend 1 hour taking 7 people in one room than to spend 7 hours talking to each and every person. So we have those meetings where we plug the prospects in. And then on Wednesdays, that's when we do the follow-up. Guys, let me talk about follow-up. August, I did 10K. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that 10K, considering the circumstances where I'm living it now, where I need to balance, and I mean, everyone at home, my sister is here, she's also doing her own business. The only thing I did was to do follow-up. I was like, okay, let me call only 5 people a day, not only the people who are doing 500 PPV, but I looked at my first lines, I looked at my organization that, okay, these are the people that are signed. I only called 5 people a day. That's when I did the 5K. And guess what? Last month, I didn't do that. As a result, I didn't do the 10K. So follow-up is crucial. You get to run the reports as well, where you can be recognizing those people. And what's nice about running reports is to teach others to be also, you're gonna have a headache if you end up running the reports for the entire organization. So each and every press team member, they run their own reports. And then on Thursday, we repeat the same as Tuesday. And on Fridays, guys, remember we said, from a member, from a senior consultant, you go to a supervisor. So on Fridays, the first Friday of the month, we run a 500 PPV school. What we do there is a roadmap to supervisor. That's where we talk also about how can they handle their objectives. Guys, everything actually that we get to train about is on the Herbalife manuals. Because some people, they think that they need to reinvent the wheel. No, we use the material that's there. So it's about making sure that we dissect the marketing plan, they understand everything. The second Friday of the month, like this one, we've got the cocktail with where everyone who's done the 5K and above, because it's all about getting them to get team so that they can go for more. We'll be having it after this call, where we get the top, like all the press team members, they share their top tips. But what's important is that the guys who have qualified get to ask those top guys, people who've done their 10K, 20K, what do they do? And then the third Friday, we do a case recognition from 1K, from 1.5K. And what's nice is that when we recognize those people, we get them to see what we let them see what they lose. That if you have supervisors, you do 1K instead of 2.5K, this is how much you lose. This is what goes to your upline, your sponsor who does their 2.5. So we get those guys on that third Friday. And then on Saturday, we plug into the national meetings, guys. That's where the big thing is, because you don't want to channel people. You don't want people get tired of your voice. You don't want them to only, listen to you. You want to get them to the BBS. And what we always do is by the way, I saw guys were excited who were pre-promoting this event. So we do the pre-promoting and the post-promoting, but of course, that has to be done within what's permissible within the South African rules as far as social media is concerned. And then on Sunday, that's where I get to have more time with family. So with that being shared, guys, I just want to close off with some of the things that I, as a person, believe in. Gratitude. First of all, I'm grateful to everyone who has, to the leadership, for you have taken your time to invite me to this meeting. And as I shared earlier, that each and every one of you has directly or indirectly contributed to who I am today. I'm grateful to my parents, to my family, to my amazing sponsors. Guys, meetings, that's what molded me. Those meetings. And it, as I said before, it doesn't have to be just your leaders. You hear stories there. And another important thing, which I click to massively, is being yourself. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. Take Herbalife out of it. Know who you were before Herbalife. One of the ladies I'm mentoring asked something, saying that, Issa, I'm so stressed. I'm a very soft person. I want to be that rough leader. I'm like, no. Take Herbalife out of it. Just sit down, connect with yourself, know who you are, know what your values are. it's easy for one to succumb to pressure that's happening outside there. We get inspired by people, but draw what you can draw and implement that, because you have your own unique life. You've got your own special gifts. You can do things and believe in yourself. For you to be here on this call, for you to have been a member, to a supervisor, that means you're good. That means you just need to dig deep within, and you don't need to be someone else. And guys, I'm sorry, please excuse me for this. I'm going to be blunt about it, especially to the young guys. You don't need to be naked to do Herbalife. They say don't compromise your values, because if you compromise your value because you want to get a position, you won't enjoy that position. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. You are amazing the way you are. Just be your better you. Don't be a better someone else, and remain teachable. Tony was laughing. I said, I have a pen and paper for this training. So he was like, how are you going to do that? Be teachable all the time. If you attend a BBS, if you attend a training with your mind closed, you're going to be grumpy after that training. You actually, I would say, we have normally, when we had monthly meetings, like 12 times in a year, if you go there without an open mind, without a blank paper and a pen, you will actually be empty. In all those 12 meetings, you're not going to learn anything. And it's not about this pin is just a pin, guys. I'm a supervisor like you. I'm still learning every day, because I need to empower me and I need to teach more people. 2020 has taught us many things, especially lockdown. I mean, like now, sitting in front of a screen, doing this on Zoom. So you need to be teachable all the time. That's when you're going to grow. Lastly, respect, guys. I believe in one thing, that don't respect people according to their volume points, according to how much they bring to your check. Respect people equally. Marcus says it's foolish business to discriminate people based on their sex, gender, political background, or religion. Respect each and everyone. You have done your first 2.5. You're going to have someone doing their 2.5. You're going to have those people to be started. Picture a ground, a field with many of your members or supervisors planted there. They work to be stars. Sorry, to be stones, which is your active supervisors. You need to work with them so that they can be stars. Believe in them, respect them. You're not going to take their excuses, but believe in them. They should know that you are there when they are ready. I started Herbalife when I was ready. For those previous months, I was avoiding Zolani. I was not ready. And ultimately, those stars will be diamonds, because that's what we want. You want to create people who are powerful and independent. So, one of the messages, which is Tony, I hope I'm still good with time. So in closing, there was this book that I was reading, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I do read books, but for me, it's not about reading a book cover to cover. It's about what do I learn from that book, even if it's just from one paragraph, and then I go to the next one. So there was this book I was reading last month. It talks about the lead that is coming off. I related to that story because there's a story about the researchers who were doing this research, thank you, research on fleas. These fleas were trapped in a container with a lid on. Every time, because their nature is that they need to fly out. Every time they try to fly out, they get knocked on by the lid. They kept on hitting the lid until a certain point that their thinking was conditioned to believe that they can't fly out anymore. So the researchers took off the lid. Still, they couldn't fly out. Why? Because they had been trapped to that. It doesn't matter the pain that you are in. It doesn't matter what you were told. It doesn't matter what, like maybe you feel like you've lost your team. No, the fact that you did something and the fact that you are still yourself, you believe in yourself, it means that you can be someone. So maybe you feel like you can't do great, or you've dropped your 2.5. And I love this one that I'm going to mention. You feel like you can't get back in shape. By the way, people who were not with me at the beginning of the journey, they don't know my story, especially the results. Guys, after becoming a mother, I picked up weight. I'm not proud of that. I'm working to be getting new results, but people would mock me that, what kind of a press team are you? Or like, what would you share and stuff? If I was not grounded to who I am, I would actually allow that. They say it's one thing to be distracted, to see distractions, but don't be a distracted person. I actually would laugh and tell people that I had to lose 26 kgs for me to build this organization that I have today. I had to get those results. And there is no expiry date in Herbalife. You still have a continued journey. So I'd love and say those results took me to where I am. To be earning average 450K a month, that's something I never imagined. And I don't like to put it about money. It's about what is possible and the person that you are. I didn't understand in Herbalife that you mix with people who are making a lot of money, but there is humble. So if you don't forget who you are, you will make sure that you are enjoying the journey. And lastly, we have actually not even 90 days, we have 85 days, guys, until the end of 2020. Everyone writes resolutions for 2021, but what's important is what we do now. One of the amazing leaders in one of the international events, I think it was David Bevan, he was doing a closing. He said, when you are on a race, we all start on a start line. We wait for that gun to go off to start running. But imagine if you can run 1 kilometer before. Imagine if you can do something within these 85 days. Imagine if you can plug in more people to events. Imagine if you can do something about your own journey. There's an extravaganza, guys. It's free. You don't have to book flights. You don't have to book accommodation. All you need to do is to be excited, promote the promotion. I always say, aim at taking people. Don't be excited that your team has gotten 20 people. How many people have you invited personally first line? Minimum. If you aim at taking 10 people first line, those people are gonna, you keep on doing that, because for all of us to be Founders Circle, we need 10 first line diamonds. So I believe in each and every one of you. I can't wait for the events to give you the big hugs, and thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. I wish everyone the best. Thank you.
Oh my word. Lots of notes, lots of notes.
Loud.
More than we expected, much more. You are so special. You deserve everything you have, and we're only getting started in Africa. And thank you so much for sharing your path with us, your amazing journey of 6 years. I can't wait to see you getting to chairmen and founders. We want to thank you from the bottom of my hearts, from all the organization, for spending time with us. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to go through a few slides. And my friend, thank you so much. We're deeply grateful, everybody is. And then just now we'll open up just for everybody to then thank you themselves. Okay, so let's just go to the slides. Okay, guys, so like Issa was saying, promote tomorrow like crazy. It's only going to be tomorrow afternoon. Lots of time to promote, talk about, get to find out about the special guest, get to promote the special guest, why the person needs to be there tomorrow. BBS tomorrow afternoon. Then you need to know what's happening next week. You need to plan. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. So take a screenshot, know exactly what to promote next for the next week. And obviously on Tuesday, amazing Megan Altman that's going to be sharing with us her story and getting your members and people that want to see the opportunity to log in, promote like crazy. Okay, next. Then this is really crazy stuff. Then on the 16th, Friday the 16th, we're going to have the virtual cocktail celebration for all the people that really stretched, that did the 5,000. You're going to qualify, and you're going to be together with all the press teams, and it's like it's an honor to rub shoulders with all these leaders. So congratulations to all of you guys that did that. And then obviously our next 2,500 Royalty Club, we can't wait to then announce our special guests. That's going to be confirmed, but you need to obviously book it down. 6th of November, go to your calendar, book that time off to obviously be present. Then, can't wait for this. On the 7th of November, Krista and Michelle Thompson, Millionaire Team 7.5, supervisor training, book it down. It's very, very important to have all these dates. And So once again, my friend, we wanted to thank you from the bottom of our heart for being our special guest. You got so much value. And all we're going to do now is just going to play a quick video. And then we will open up for everybody to say thank you.
We're going to open up now.
Okay.
We are going to open up now. We're going to thank Issa.
Let's do it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I've got so many notes.
Thank you, Issa.
Amazing.
Everybody can open up themselves.
Okay, everybody, you can unmute.
Thank you so much, Nabisa. Thank you, Issa. Love you.
Thank you, Issa.
That was an amazing training.
Thank you.
So inspired.
Thank you so much.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
I'm there for a month with you, baby.
Thank you. Oh my
Inkling of what's going to happen in the future.
Standing in the street, the sun is in the east. Calling out the beast, the tiger underneath. Starting to believe the world is at my feet. Ready for the feast, it's all within my reach. So within my reach. I'm going all the way, and I'm going. Yeah, my blood is rebel. I'm going all the way. I'm going to another level. I'm going all the way, and I'm going. Yeah, my blood is rebel. I'm going all the way. I'm going to another level. Let's go another level. Get my hands dirty. To another level. Let's go, let's go, let's go. To another level.
Mark set out for us 40 years ago is as powerful and as meaningful today as it was back then.
Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.